FAVME presents Unfolding Mental Illness, hosted by Saraswati Suresh.
Hello, everyone. FAVME, Family's Voice on Mental Illness, which is also the regional chapter of Face Me India, is back with its episode on unfolding mental illness. Through these podcast series of unfolding mental illness, we aim to provide tools, resources, expert advices, and inspirational stories, which helps the society in the space of mental illness with better understanding and awareness. That is our aim through our podcast series on unfolding mental illness. I am Saraswati Suresh, the founder of FAVME and the host for today's episode. The month of May is celebrated as the Mental Awareness Day, and we thought how best we could celebrate by bringing another inspirational story in front of all of us. So today, our guest is a very sweet and young, dynamic lady who wears multiple hats. She's an MD in community medicine. She is also a founder of an NGO, Wish a Conversation Foundation, which helps in online and offline counseling sessions. They also want to do research on mental health and create awareness through social media and offline workshops. She is also part of the SMHA, which is the State Mental Health Authority of Maharashtra, and wants to bring changes through the government. What most important, she is a mental health warrior. And she has the courage to come out and tell a story. I think a heartfelt gratitude from all of us. Let me introduce our guest for today, Dr. Richa Arun Shete. Welcome, Dr. Richa, and thank you so much for being our guest today.
Thank you, Saraswati. I feel I am thankful for you guys asking me to do this podcast. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's always our pleasure and our privilege. So, Dr. Richa, we'd like to start with, you sharing your story in brief a little.
Yes. So I have done my post graduation in community medicine, which was actually not a first choice for doing post graduation. I always wanted to become a pediatrician, but life has its own ways of making us do things. But since childhood, I've always wanted to become a doctor. I have seen many doctors in my family, and I loved the impact that they created in the society by helping a lot of people around them. So, like wanting to do something meaningful in my life, I chose MBBS to do MBBS after my college days. And for that, from Villeparle, I've been born and brought up in Villeparle, and which is also a very lucky thing, and it is a very fruitful, and it is actually very nourishing to being brought up in Villeparle East with so many beautiful people around me, and it helped me grow a lot as a child, and that has implicated a lot of values in me as an adult also. So after MBBS, with a gap of 3 years, I wasn't able to I wasn't able to get pediatrics because of I did not get a good rank for that. You need a really high rank to get into pediatrics. So I repeated again and again. But during that time, I had this mental illness, and I almost gave up on doing post graduation. So yeah, but I was constantly working somewhere or the other. And during that time, while I was working, I again gave my entrance exam, and I got admission at Nair Hospital for community medicine. And I completed that for 3 years. After that, after community medicine, I did a 6 months fellowship in Gadchiroli with Dr. Abhay Bang. over there working towards reducing addictions in the tribal areas. Followed that by I worked in COVID centers like Seven Hills and Nesco in Goregaon, where I was working as a COVID consultant in Nesco and working in the high dependence unit. So there also I learned a lot about, mostly I learned quick decision making, quick decision making while I was working in the COVID wards. After that, there was a brief period where I've also worked in Solapur region. There is a village called Andur, and there is a small hospital, Hello Medical Foundation over there, where I worked for a very brief period for 2 months, after during which actually my father passed away, so I had to come back from there. And following that, I worked in Jalna district. There was a project of Empower, which is a uh, organization by Aditya Birla Trust,
Yes.
and I worked in Jalna district, helping the government, like strengthening the district and mental health program over there in Jalna district. So I was working as a psychiatrist, going in different villages and treating people along with a counselor with me.
Oh,
So then and after that, I've been working with BMC last year for 6 months as a consultant epidemiologist. And I was part of helping them with training of around 400 medical officers working in the public health department of BMC. And then I recently, I got out of that also, but I recently have been working in a nearby hospital, which is very near to my place, and working in the emergency department over there.
okay.
During this period, working with other organizations, I started my own organization in 2020 during the COVID period. And it started with the name of Samvad. Like Samvad is a conversation, like with the tagline of beautiful conversations. And it is officially registered as Make a Conversation Foundation.
Okay.
So when you think of mental health, you think of conversation. So that is why we named it like that. And we're trying to change the world one conversation at a time.
Lovely. So beautiful. Yeah. I think loneliness is one of the biggest uh, challenges today one faces here. And I think conversation definitely would help you. So, Dr. Richa, what, with regards to your mental illness, how did it start and how did you go about, addressing it?
Yes. So mental health, I think I took my own mental health for granted कि मैं तो खुश रहती हूँ हमेशा, मुझे तो कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता.
Correct.
So how can anything affect me? I am strong enough to go through any kind of obstacles. But there were certain things in my life which affected my mental health, but I ignored them. And people around me identified it as an illness, but not as an illness, but a problem, which she will get out of it on her own. So it wasn't properly addressed medically.
Mm-hmm.
And then slowly it got complicated into psychosis when I was working, because the added stress of giving exams, not getting admission in the field which I wanted. So all of that added a lot of pressure. And then I started working in a hospital also. So that was actually a physical stress also. So all that added up, and the depression which I was in, severe depression, got converted into psychosis. So I exactly remember the thought process which I was going to. The thoughts that gave me happiness, I actually stuck to those thoughts, but which were not actually very real. And then I started believing in those thoughts, which got then converted into delusions, which I started believing in them. And slowly they became very strong, because those were subconscious thoughts, and you start believing in them. They become very strong, and then you start creating your own story in your own head. That is what I was doing. That was actually a protective mechanism of my brain, I would say, to protect me from the depression I was having. So, which led to psychosis. Because in depression, the happy hormones are very low, and in psychosis, schizophrenia, and these disorders, the happy hormones are very high. So the brain actually compensated like that to get me out of my depression, but it went to the other extreme. So the thing was, within I was in psychosis for around 2 or 3 months. Uh, and it got identified when I started talking about it to my mother. She identified as something abnormal. And then she asked for with her being a doctor herself. So she's a doctor. She could easily identify it. She took me to a psychiatrist as soon as possible. That is when my treatment part started after 2 3 months. And yeah, within 15 days or so, I was having insight about my illness. I was having insight about my thoughts, why I was behaving in a certain way. And it actually came as a relief for me because the delusions were causing a lot of panic. So when I realized that was not the real story, it was just a delusion, it gave me a sense of relief. And I quickly came out of that. And I was almost in that state where I could even think of, I had already gotten the results of my entrance exam, and I was actually in that phase where I could actually think that I can go to the hospital and work as a doctor and pursue my post graduation. So yeah, I sat down with my family, and we were discussing if not pediatrics, what other field I could choose and pursue my career as a doctor. So within 1 month or so, I was in that phase. So I'm very thankful for very early, quick treatment and accurate treatment by my doctor. So that helped me come out of it. It has been a very difficult journey after that also, after getting inside, because I had to continue with the medicines. I had to comply with the medicines. I took them for 7 to 8 years, more than that, and still on maintenance, but with a very, very low dose, which is not affecting my life at all. So uh, that has been difficult too, the treatment part, because uh, it blunted my thoughts, it blunted my emotions, the medicines, those were the side effects. I was very frustrated. And working on that was very difficult because I had to do it myself. The coming out of the psychosis part was easy because my mother used to give me the medicines every day, and I used to just take it reluctantly, but I used to take it. But that helped a lot. But then working on myself came. And that is when I took all the help that was available to me everywhere, like my family, friends, teachers, colleagues, everybody. So, yeah, that asking for help also helps. Like, you shouldn't stop, okay, I can take care of myself. No. When you need help, you need help. And then when there are people who offer you help, use their help, not just take their help, but use their help to become a better version of yourself. Yeah. So that is what I did.
So beautifully said. I think the biggest, take backs of insights, early treatment and diagnosis, and seeking help, I think are what the biggest message you are passing on today. Thank you, Dr. Richa. So, how did these friends and family, teachers, and how did they help you? Because,
So,
notice that when there is mental illness, sorry, that, people desert, and the person is left alone. Uh, Even if they seek help, people don't come out and help for various reasons. People have their own lives, or they have lack of understanding of address. They don't know how to talk to that person. There are various reasons. And, uh, you went out. How did they actually help you?
by listening to me, first of all,
Lovely.
I would say,
Sweet.
yeah, yeah. So my mother was the only like basic anchor with me at my home and who used to take care of me every day. She used
Mhm.
to make sure I was busy the entire day. Like something or the other we used to do, like play games, board games, or go out, play badminton, or just go out and have my favorite ice cream or something like that. So something or the other we used to do, which would like make me like feel involved, make me feel not alone. So she used to I had a separate room, but she made sure that we slept in the same room. So she used to not let me go anywhere alone. So yeah, she took care of me like that. And yeah, I've been very lucky to have very educated people around me, my friends who were doctors, my school best friends. They are occupational therapists actually,
Oh,
which
lovely.
is actually a big part of any kind of rehabilitation for any disease or disorder.
Correct.
So they play a huge role professionally also, but as friends, I think it helped a lot because, yeah, they showed that whatever it is, we love you. So they were there. And I think that helped a lot. So my school friend, Mitali, she used to call me, make sure that I took medicines every day. She used to send me motivational. She was not here, huh, by the way. She is not
Oh,
in Mumbai. She stays in the US. So from there, she helped me every day. Like she was there to listen to me any time of the day, and she used to remind me to take medicines. She used to send me videos for motivation. She knew me since childhood. She knew I was good at art. I was good at dance. So she used to keep reminding me that you should do this, you should do that, take up small projects. I started painting. I used to do small projects which helped me, like, have this sense that I am useful, that I can do something. Because I had completely forgotten what it is to be a doctor, what I should do in a hospital. Because I took admission for family medicine. I did it for 2 weeks because I was so slowed down with the depression, post psychotic depression was there. The side effects of the medicines were there. So it was like I was very slowed down. I was not there in the present. Uh, and then I left. After leaving that post, it created more depression because itna bhi like I've been studying all my life to become a doctor. I'm not able to do that also. I felt so that gave me worthlessness. But yeah, so to come out of that, she helped me a lot. And yeah, 1 month it was a very bad period. 1 month I was only at home. I was sleeping and not doing anything else. But I was hoping that I will first be happy and then I'll start doing things, but it doesn't work that way.
mhm.
You have to force yourself, even though you're in depression, you have to force yourself to start working first, start taking small responsibilities, taking care of yourself, even if it doesn't matter, even if it doesn't make sense to you. You have to start doing it, and then slowly you start getting your happiness back. You have to really work hard on getting your own happiness, because just taking the pills is not going to work. You have to understand where you want to reach, what is normal for you, and then work towards it. and that has to be very consistent. So I decided that I will write every week. I has to write in my journal every day what I felt, not what I did. So how I was feeling. Then slowly after that, I started taking therapy. So that therapy also helped a lot. Yeah.
Lovely. I think you have given more messages now, like I know board games helps in the cognitive part of your brain, exercising through badminton, and friends encouraging you, monitoring you. Oh my God, that's amazing. And yes, a routine and doing small things. I think, yeah, that's that's the way to go, and I think you have done it. I think that's a beautiful message to people who are in this journey, how to go about doing it. But I'm sure it would have been difficult for you to motivate yourself even to do those small projects. How did
Yes.
yes, how did you get that energy there? Because that's one of the biggest challenges I see with the PMIs. Even to do a small code, they find it so difficult.
Yeah. So it is so starting. I had nothing to do. I was at home. There was this my one of my mom's friend. She was
Mhm.
going abroad. She wanted to just make different gifts for the guests over there. And mom told me to do it. Like, take the responsibility of creating that. It was a very small job. It was not a big responsibility. I just had to put the different things in different bags. This small thing helped me. Okay, I can do something. I forced myself to do it. I was not enjoying it. I was very lethargic. But still I did it because I had trust in one person. I had trust in my mom that if she tells me to do something, it is for my own good. I have to listen to her. So if there is one person in your life, I had more than one people, but if there is one person in your life that you can root on, like you can base everything on, like believe everything that person says, then you should listen to that person, even if it goes against your own mind. So that helped me believing in my mom. उसने बोला है करने को तो मुझे करना चाहिए.
Okay.
That helps.
Yeah. I think she's been a great anchor to you. Uh, yeah, I salute her, and I'm sure we should get her also to record to give her inputs.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's very important. So, how are you coping with your illness today? Is it?
Today, yeah.
No, no, continue.
So yeah, I am in a very happy place currently, and I feel I have completely come out of my entire depression, my entire blunted affectness, what was there. Because I literally used to feel there was a transparent curtain over my eyes. I couldn't see anything properly. And
Mm.
now everything is very colorful and everything is, I can enjoy everything. I can enjoy all the emotions I have. So one thing that helps is I need not be happy all the time. I shouldn't take up the burden of being happy all the time. I need to understand what I am feeling, what I'm going through, address it head on. Like, why am I feeling this? What is wrong with me? If I am going through sadness, if I'm going through low phases, I really try to understand कि ये क्यों हो रहा है, कैसे हो रहा है? What is the reason behind this? I try to analyze my thoughts. I write them down. I make algorithms कि मुझे अभी ठीक क्यों नहीं लग रहा है? अगर मैंने ये किया तो क्या हो जाएगा? ये किया तो क्या हो जाएगा? And what will actually help me feel better? So sometimes when I'm feeling anxious, I just go for a walk. Or if I'm feeling low, I just eat my favorite food. Or if I'm feeling very overwhelmed, I just talk to someone who can listen to me. So even that, you have to make sure that the person who is listening to you is in a safe space to actually listen to what I am saying. So
Correct.
after making sure of that, like I just like rant it out when I feel overwhelmed. So in this, that is how I cope up with my mental health. Try to, I am trying hard to fix my lifestyle. It is very difficult, like exercising every day, and it's not easy. Even to motivate myself today for exercise is difficult. Then because, but then I do exercise which I like dancing, going for a walk. Or these days I cannot do dance or walk because it's so hot. So
Yeah.
I've started swimming now from this week. So swimming is like the only exercise which I can do in this summer. So uh, I try to do I am comfortable doing, and just naam ke liye exercise nahi, but I should actually enjoy that exercise. So yeah, I try to do that. So that is how I'm trying to. I read a
Amazing.
lot. Yeah.
Amazing, Dr. Richa, because what I hear you, your journaling has helped you create those algorithms and actually understand how you can cope with it and find solutions to it, which
Yes.
okay. And being happy. I think that's the key word out of here. What makes
Yeah.
do what makes you happy. So beautiful, so beautiful. God bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely all these messages would be an inspiration to a lot of other people who are in this space today. Yeah. So, if I had to ask you a little more about your foundation that you started, would you like to share that with us?
Yes. So I always wanted to help in this sector of mental health since I realized that I actually know what I went through, what a mentally ill person goes through, what is going on in their mind. So I thought I would be able to help in a much better way. I wanted to see if I can counsel people myself, but I realized I don't have the actual tools. Like just being a person with lived experience doesn't give me the qualification for being a counselor or a psychologist. So I formed a team. It started off as an Instagram page, Someone Beautiful Conversations, but then slowly we created our own website, samvadngo.com, and we registered ourselves as a Section 8 non-profit company in November. So I feel just providing services is not enough. You have to understand what the society needs, what kind of help they need. So we think like I want to do some social service. I should do this. I should do that. But do they really need that kind of help? Those people who are underprivileged. So first we decided to understand what is the need. So we started in COVID times. So we started by helping the doctors first, I think, because they were the most in need. Because I think the part of society which was really working hard at that time were doctors,
Correct.
and they needed a lot of support. So we started with that. Then slowly we shifted to relatives of patients, and so it is always need based therapy. It is always need based services which we provide. So for that, along with services, we also do research work, which helps us understand what is the problem statement in the society, what is the actual situation in the society. So, but just providing services and research is not enough because people need to know कि हम क्या कर रहे हैं क्यों कर रहे हैं. So for that awareness is needed, and there is so much stigma attached to mental health that people don't easily ask for help. So trying to reduce that stigma helps. Like such interviews with you, like talking about my mental illness will of course reduce that stigma to some extent, I would say, because uh, I when I realized when I started talking about my illness, with my colleagues, my batchmates in my post-graduation course, I found they started coming to me, like many people started coming to me telling me, or, I was also going through this, or, my relative was also going through this. How did you manage? So it helps start the conversation. It helps people, it is okay. This is a safe space. You can talk about it. So not just at someone, but would love it at large if people talk openly about their emotions, openly about what they are going through, because the stigma is in your own head.
Correct.
How what you think people think about you is just a perception of how you look at yourself. Like, I don't think I don't feel guilty of going through mental illness. I don't feel it is something weird or I am some unique person or something. So I don't have that stigma in my head. So I openly talk about it, and people look at me then in the same way itself.
Yes.
Yeah. So how you look at yourself is more important than how you think people look at you. So that easily helps reduce the stigma. If you are comfortable in your own skin, then you won't bother about what people think about you. So that is the basis of stigma, where you shouldn't consider it at all if you are going through. Because I don't know anyone who will be like embarrassed to tell कि मुझे last week malaria हुआ था.
Correct.
And it is always कि मुझे malaria हुआ था. It is not मैं malaria हूँ.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm not depressed. I have got depression. If you change this line of conversation कि मुझे depression हुआ था, मैं depressed नहीं हूँ, like that. So it dissociates the depression from your personality, and then you realize कि okay, it is a disorder which I have. It is not me as such, and then you can easily treat it.
Yeah. It's just a disease, and
Yeah.
and it's curable. You just have to work on it.
Yes.
Yeah. I think you've had immense courage, and the courage has come from understanding the aspect of being comfortable within your own skin.
Yes.
And that helps a person to come out and talk
Open.
yeah, openly. Yeah, today stigma is a big chapter in mental health. Yeah, and not all of us are comfortable to talk about it. Yeah, and I think slowly the social media and the awareness after COVID is bringing about this change. Yeah,
Yes.
and it's good,
But it is important to even create the right kind of awareness.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. That safe and secure environment makes
Yes.
all the difference. Yeah, and like you said, it's okay to talk.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you. So now you're also part of the SMHA in Maharashtra. What was your reason for joining it, and what do you think you would be doing in that space?
I actually had no idea that there's a thing called SMHA. But when I was working at Empower, my senior asked me to apply for it. He showed me the advertisement. I went and gave the interview. There is a place for every stakeholder in state mental health authority, for patients, for caretakers, for doctors, for private psychiatrists, for NGOs. For NGOs or doctors, they needed at least 10 years of experience, which I did not qualify for.
Mm-hmm.
I had actually applied as a patient stakeholder.
Okay.
So from the patient's point of view, I joined, and I had to give an interview, and then I got selected for the state mental health authority. So it has been a privilege to be part of it for more than around 1.5 years now. So I have been part of great conversations over there too, where we can create an impact on mental health at large, like uh, towards the entire community, where we can create policies and actually help. The government has beautiful plans for mental health. Government has amazing health programs like the district mental health program for creating awareness, reaching out to the underprivileged people or any kind of people in rural parts, tribal parts, urban parts, everywhere. uh, this program is very beautiful. Every district has a team of a psychiatrist, a nurse, a psychologist, social health worker. So these teams make sure that mental health activities take place at each and every district in Maharashtra. So, my what more I would like to happen is just implement these programs properly. These the plans are beautiful. The way they have been constructed is very thoughtful, but the main difficulty is the implementation, making sure those plans actually take place. So that is uh, the other thing is make mental health hospitals more patient friendly, where their rights are respected, where they are treated as humans. So, the whole infrastructure is friendly for people with mental illness, all of that. So, yeah, I've been trying to bring these things into the conversations in these kind of meetings also.
Amazing. Dr. Richa, at such a young age, you're doing so many things. A big salute to you. And what, as a last question to this episode, our viewers are generally a lot of family caregivers. Our audiences are. Of course, we have other viewers also, but especially to them, what would be your message to them with your experience, with your mom being your anchor to you, and you also mentioned your friends. What would be your message, not only to the society and to these family carers? I would say
Yeah.
two parts of the question. I would like to bring them together as your last
Yeah.
question to this episode.
So caregiving is not easy. Caregiving is not at all simple. You have to think beyond yourself and help that person. You have to be there 24/7 with a person who might not have insight into what they are doing, what is happening with them, and why they are behaving in a certain way. So, taking all these things into consideration, helping them in their routine is very difficult. Like the caregivers are like the most amazing people. So one thing for them is please first take care of yourself,
True.
your own mental health, and make sure you are healthy, you are fit. I'm not saying you're happy, but make sure you're stable, your mental health is stable, so that you can help in a much better way. And yeah, by working on yourself, like taking breaks, doing what you love apart from taking care of the person in your family. So that is a major thing which people forget.
Yeah,
Self
very
care
true.
is important, your sleep is important, your food is important, because sometimes caregivers forget all of these things while taking care of the other person. So, yeah, I'm not saying what you should do for that other person. The only thing I can say right now is what you should do for yourself. Think about that. Think about your own self, your health, your finances, also taking care apart from the rest of the household, which is also an important aspect like that. I forgot to mention two parts. There is in as part of SMHA, there is a part where we need to create awareness about the Mental Health Care Act, which
Yes.
has listed all the rights of people, of what is a caretaker, what is a person with mental illness, everything, who is a psychiatrist, everything. So people need to know about this act to be able to properly implement it. There is a part where they have nominated representatives and additional directives, advanced directives, where you can, where the person with mental illness can choose another person to make decisions for themselves. So you need to actually register for that and make sure that the person with mental illness has someone who can take decisions for them when they are not having insight. So yeah, that is, I missed saying that, but the caretakers are like the major people who can help like reduce the burden of mental illness. So don't become mentally ill yourself. Take care of yourself. Do self care 100%, and yeah, that's it.
And to the society?
To the society, I would say try to be more inclusive of people. Do not add more to the stigma. Uh, be less judgmental, because we tend to judge people a lot on how they behave, how they dress, how they look. So, yeah, society has set different beauty standards, different health standards, and it is okay to not be at that level. Everybody can't do that. So try to be more empathetic. Try to look at people from their perspective and not just your own perspective.
Thank you so much, Dr. Richa. You have given us amazing uh, thoughts today, right from insights to early intervention and treatment, taking care of yourself, to journaling, to doing, small jobs, being able to go out and talk to people, your algorithms. I just loved that part of algorithms. I think a lot of takeaways, and I must thank you from my bottom of my heart that you have this courage in you to come out and talk about your story and share it, and want to remove the stigma out completely, and let also people be able to find a safe space, and there's inclusivity in the system. Thank you so much. We totally appreciate you from Family and Face Me India. Thank you so much, Dr. Richa.
Thank you so much.